Blood of My Blood is finally showing us its true potential as it becomes more similar to Outlander. And episode 6 was the proof that the Outlander saga is at safe hands as its legacy will forever live through with Blood of My Blood. That being said, this also means that we are getting into a very dark territory with episode 7, where tragedy will strike both Ellen and Julia. I don't know about you guys, but to me, the 6th episode of the show, aka Birthright, is one of the heaviest episodes yet, and honestly, one of the best. It dived deep into Davina's story while showing how her past connects with Julia's present. To me, this entire birth story was extremely traumatic and even triggering. And I cannot believe I managed to go through all of it without blinking an eye. All I can say is, my poor Julia. She deserves way better. As you know, the episode started with Julia waking up to find her water has broken. She reassured her baby, get dressed, and found Brian, who immediately realized the time has come. He called for the midwife, while Julia explained again that Henry is the baby's father, not Lovett. Brian seems to believe her this time, though he warns that confinement won't be easy. And oh boy, he is not exaggerating the scare of confinement at all. Meanwhile, Henry is desperately searching for midwives who might know where Julia is. Arch catches him and finally learns that Henry is looking for his pregnant wife. That hits Arch hard. Well, he seems to be touched by it because he and his wife lost a baby themselves. He even promises to help by arranging midwife interviews, which feel sincere, until we later learn he's lying through his teeth. Seriously, I want to punch this guy in the face so bad. What a jerk. Back at Castle Leathers, Davina's story comes front and center. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of her at all. And no, seeing her past did not change my perception of her that much. Still, I always welcome any new lore regarding Jamie's family tree. So, I cannot complain about the flashbacks. In the flashbacks, we see her remembering how Lovett first assaulted her years ago, threatening her job if she didn't comply. It's absolutely brutal and heartbreaking, that's for sure. And it kind of explains the hatred Davina feels for Julia. In the present, when Davina tells him Julia is about to give birth, he immediately decides Julia must be taken to the Kirk to be married before the child is born. He wants the baby legitimized as his heir, because of course he does. In the meantime, Julia is placed in the main hall for confinement, surrounded by local women and a midwife. Or should I say, local monsters? Because what the hell was that? If there are any historians among you, please inform me. Was this a pattern back in the day? Because my jaw is still on the floor, and I doubt I'll recover anytime soon. At first, these women act supportive, but Davina sows doubt by accusing Julia of seducing both Lovett and Brian. Just like that, the women turn cruel, shaming Julia and demanding she repent. I don't know about you guys, but it is one of the most terrifying things I've ever watched, and I doubt I'll recover anytime soon. At the same time, Henry finally hears from a midwife who claims Julia and her baby died during childbirth. The news devastates him, as expected. I mean, I was also devastated, until I discovered that Arch, the jerk, paid her to lie, just to crush his search. Watching Henry's hope ripped away like that was so heartbreaking. And as we all saw, it completely broke him. Julia, meanwhile, is still surrounded and attacked verbally and physically by the women who are convinced she's possessed. I mean, can you see me rolling my eyes now? Because I am. In a desperate plea, she appeals directly to Davina, reminding her that Brian is who he is because of the love Davina gave him, not because of Lovett. That moment cracks something open in Davina, who flashes back to her own confinement when she too was shamed and attacked. Realizing Julia's suffering mirrors hers, Davina finally orders the women to leave. It's a bit too late in my opinion, but thanks, I guess, Davina. Outside, Lovett prepares for a sham wedding to Julia, but when Davina locks him out of the hall, he lashes out violently. Brian steps in to protect his mother, standing up to his father at last. It's one of those rare moments where Brian shows he's nothing like Lovett, and finds the courage to go completely against him, even though he's been struggling with what it means to be a Fraser. Inside, Davina helps Julia through the birth. The scenes are intercut with Julia's later life, her giving birth to Claire with Henry by her side, the music playing, the joy of holding their daughter. Back in the present, Julia delivers a son, and the relief on her face is everything. Seriously, I'm still surprised to see how similar she looks to Claire. Amazing casting, through and through. Henry, still reeling from the lie about Julia's death, runs into the woods, as he is absolutely grief-stricken. We then see time blur for him, as scenes where he imagines being with Julia, but he's actually with Seema in the brothel. I mean, this is one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever watched in the Outlander universe, through and through. By the end, Julia finds comfort in Brian, who vows to stand by her child, even if he's not technically his brother. Julia introduces him to the idea of birthdays, complete with a cake and candle, letting Brian make a wish. And I loved every single second of it. That being said, this was probably the last hopeful scene that we will get from this show for a long time. In episode 7, Henry will finally find Julia. However, the circumstances will be less than desirable. He will see Julia as she is getting married to Lovett. This will cause Henry to spiral even further, as he won't be able to understand how come Julia can do such a thing. By the time Julia finds out about Henry's presence, it will be too late. Henry already made up his mind about her. Julia will try to convince her otherwise, but despite her beginnings and explanations, Henry won't hear of it. He will find peace in Seema's arms, as he will be a frequent visitor to the brothel. Ellen, on the other hand, will find out she is pregnant, which will put her into a panic mode. She will immediately try to reach to Brian, informing him that he is about to be a father. But for a while, she won't be able to reach to him, causing her to contemplate abortion. The reason why Brian won't hear of Ellen is Murtaugh, as he will find the letter before Brian and he will hide them in an attempt to take revenge against him. By the time Ellen finally meets Brian, she already made up his mind. Of course, he will be over the moon to find out about the pregnancy, and yet Ellen is not that hopeful regarding the future, because she knows that her brothers will ruin her life if they hear about this. So, her only choice is to get married with a man she does not love. I mean, what a tragedy. For more weekly updates, discussions, and analysis on Blood of My Blood, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.